that dirty town. I'm going back to that dirty town.
Good evening, my beautiful crime family. I hope everybody's having an awesome evening. And yeah, we got a show tonight. We got some stuff I need to show that I don't know if you've seen some of this stuff or not, but there's pictures out there that I've never seen, and we got to go over this stuff. So yeah, we got a good show tonight. And maybe we might have a special guest come in later tonight. I'm hoping. Anyway, let's say hi to the crime family. Crime Spy, good to see you. Teresa R, good to see you. Deborah Gazzardo, my girl, good to see you. Cryptic Conversions, good to see you. Randy, my brother, good to see you. Gene, good to see you. T-Taj, good to see you. Crazy P, good to see you. Romana, good to see you. Lila, good to see you. Joey, my brother, good to see you. Angela, my girl, good to see you. And I hope everything is going okay with you, Angela. Yeah, my prayers are with you. And Mama Five, good to see you. Elizabeth, good to see you. Kathy, good to see you. Yeah, lots of chatters out there. Social Glow, good to see you. And everybody that's out there, good to see you. Out and chatting about. Um, Hold on a second here. This might be important. Uh, I'll have to check that one out later. Okay. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, and people have some really interesting videos. And this is the best time for this case in quite a while because it's just so much to dig into, and everybody's got opinions on it. So I like to jump around and see what everybody's saying about it and everything. Snow Leopard, how you doing? And yeah, so that's what we're going to get into. Jackie Bushabelle, good to see you. Rooster, good to see you. Yeah, they're piling in. I like that. Anyway, let's get to this first thing I want to show you, and this is from. Let me look here. I think it's from. I think. Okay, I gotta get it set up. Yeah, yeah. This is okay. Yeah, this is by Sonia D. And I don't know if you guys know her or not, but she puts out some really good videos. And let's get to it. So check this out. I might stop it. I'm not sure if this is the one that has, you know, words. You got to read the words. And sometimes people go too fast, or you know what I'm talking about. They go too fast, or you got to stop it to read it. I'm not sure. I think this might be one of those. But anyway, check this out. Who was hospitalized? Never before seen pictures of Dylan being escorted by two officers. Now, check this out. If you have not seen this, it's a shocker.
Tragedy on the U of I campus. 4 students dead, another in the hospital. The new information we're learning and the questions we're hoping to be answered. Breaking news out of Moscow, where it is still not clear who killed 4 University of Idaho students or why.
The Moscow Police Department is only saying it is investigating the deaths as homicides.
Tragedy on the U of I campus. 4 students dead, another in the hospital.
Okay, so officers Ramirez and Argonaut are the officers who walked Dylan Mortensen away from 1122 King Road onto Blake Road. Blake Road, people. Blake Road. Why did they escort her so far away? Where was the ambulance if she was the one who was hospitalized? It's clear they have body cams. Why were they not used? That is a good question, too. Where are the body cams for any of this? That is something I have always wondered. All right, we're going to keep going. Until now. Okay. Yeah, it's talking about here is Dylan, and here's 2 officers escorting her from 1122. Now watch the shit. Escorting her down the highway. Now look where Blake Road is compared to where 1122 King Road is. Here's 1122 King Road. They escort her back in the back all the way down to Blake Avenue. What is up with that?
There was a moment earlier today where that captain went through and called back a lot of media members and answered some questions, but a lot of the details still weren't sorted out. Really, all we got confirmed from that phone call was they are looking for a suspect, and it kind of started and stopped there. There wasn't a whole lot more other than that. I guess we do now know that the unconscious person that they originally responded to is among those 4 that are dead. We did get that confirmed.
Where did Dylan go from here, and where was Bethany? Where was Bethany? We know that the pictures of Dylan Mortensen are between 12 p.m. and 4:16 p.m. on November 13th, 2022. What happened next? The bodies were removed soon after sunset at 4:16 p.m. Okay, so there's that. What do you think about that? Yes, it's very weird, Tressa. That's very weird. Yeah, that's her. It's definitely her. She just has her hair in braids. Thank you, Snow Leopard. Yeah, Mama, that is her. She just has her hair in braids. Who else would they be walking from there? Anyway, so there's that one. I thought that was pretty dang interesting. Another one I want to show you. I don't know if you've seen this. Let me see. Do I got this? Okay, I might have to do something different here on this one. Just give me a second here. Okay, or no, that's not what I want. Okay. This one. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen this either, and we have talked about, and this is another Sonia D. Okay, I got the link in the description, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, but there is pictures of them loading the bodies up, and they have come out. So let's take a peek at this. And here we go. I have never seen these pictures until now, the day the bodies were removed. I'm gonna have to slow this down. Now, 2 years later, I get sent these pictures from a friend who also follows the case closely. Thank you, Melissa, for these. Check it out. Pictures after Kathy Mabutt speaks out soon after the murders.
Abbott, Mabbutt.
And I'm going to ask you, how long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing it for 16 years, and I just got reelected for another 4.
So what is it that, or I guess, when did you get the call on Sunday?
I got the call just a few minutes after noon that there were 4 homicides, but I didn't go to the scene because of law enforcement doing their investigation first. So I didn't actually go to the scene until about 5 or 5:30.
Can you walk us through, like, for our viewers, kind of the process between when police show up and then you guys getting the bodies and doing your examinations?
Sure. Well, law enforcement goes through and looks for any evidence, takes videos and pictures of everything in there, and they'll start talking with people. So I don't really need to be there for that. They can't move the bodies. I mean, the bodies have to stay as they were until the coroner gets there. So those are really what.
Hey, 1192 crime, Mama D.
Coroner, do you guys do the autopsies and all that?
No, we some do if they're an actual medical examiner, but we have forensic pathologists and we contract with Spokane to do that.
So in your experience, what is it that you saw when you showed up?
Well, there was a lot of blood. It was, it was.
Hearts to you,
with 4
Mama D.
Murdered college students.
Thank you, Lenore.
Yes.
And can you give us a manner of that?
I believe that the press release was that they were from a sharp object. So
stabbings.
Yeah, I will know more after the autopsies tomorrow.
And do you believe this could be a murder suicide?
No, there are 4 homicides.
And when it comes to doing the investigation post autopsy, that falls on you, correct?
Yes, it's my job to determine the manner and mechanism of death.
And then I know with toxicology results, there can often be, at least in Washington, a delay. So do you have any idea how long it could take if those were relevant to get any type of results back on that?
Well, the toxicology reports, right, they usually take 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes longer. But they might, I don't think they're going to be relevant in the actual manner or cause of death.
And do we know how long between the time of death and when police found them? Approximately.
No, I don't know for sure.
Do we have like any, like, could it have been hours? Could it have been a day? Was it maybe close? Like, is there any sort of like time frame there?
Not that I'm aware of.
She skates around that question.
Really difficult. I mean, is this something you've had to deal with before in Moscow?
Since I've been coroner, there have been at least 2 other multiple homicide scenes that I've been involved in. So,
Would you say this is probably the most recent?
oh, it's hard to just single it out. It's the only one I've been to where there have been 4 people at one scene. There have been the other ones have had multiple scenes.
And was anybody else injured, like a non-deceased people?
Not that I'm aware of, but I wouldn't necessarily be notified either.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like because the injuries could be similar in matter to you.
Oh, right.
Were the deceased all in close proximity to each other, or were they in different rooms?
I don't know that I can discuss that.
Yeah, she skates around that one too.
I think, yeah.
Will we be able to get a copy of your report once it's concluded? I'm sure it'll be.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Okay, just call.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you know what the time frame for that will be?
It just depends on how relevant the toxicology report is, but
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay, so it was like the 4 to 6 weeks.
it could be. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna slow this down so everybody can see what's going on. I'm gonna slow this down to the max. The bodies were removed at nightfall on Sunday, November 13th, 2022. Autopsies were completed Wednesday night, November 16th, 2022. Taking approximately 9 hours to finish by Thursday, November 17th, 2022. bodies removal was Sunday, November 13th, 2022.
University officials reported
Okay, I need to slow
a
this down
homicide
pretty
near
quick.
campus, as we've stated in Moscow.
Okay, here is one.
Unseen since about 3 p.m. Since I've been
And as you can
here,
see, you see that they're carrying out something here. You see that?
Moscow police cars come in and out of this neighborhood, where
And you got what, 2 or 3 on
officials
each side.
found 4 people dead. Developing situation, and we will continue to stay on the grounds until we have more information to report back to you. Until then, in Moscow, Janelle Finch, Crime 2 News.
So that's what they got. That's the only pictures of them removing the bodies. That is all we get. But you can tell that they were both, there's people on each side. You can tell that there's something there, and they're carrying it out. So, because we've always wondered, and that was like one of the biggest one. Why have we not seen the bodies being taken out? Well, they were taken out, and that is the only screen shots I know of out there. So, yeah, of course, they had to be taken out. You know what I'm saying? They had to be taken out. There is no, they had to be taken out. That's all there's to it. And the Krem News is the only one that got any video of it at all. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that, Teresa. That's what it sounds like, or that's what it looks like. And they did it sneakily. I'm sure they did it very, very sneakily. And actually, they might have told the news stations that they had to shut their videos down. I wouldn't doubt it. But they had to be taken out of there. They had to be. Know what I mean? So anyway, that's all that we got on that. Okay, what else do I want to look at here? There's other things here. Is this one of them? Oh, this is from Ted. Yeah. Okay, I got to reset that playback speed to normal. And this is from TED, and there's a space. People say they can't find it. They might not be finding it because he's got a space between the T and the E and the E and the D. Ted. Okay. And that might be why people are not finding it when I tell them it's Ted. You'll see what I mean here in a second. Yeah, see, there's a space in between, and it's all capitalized.
Yo, what's up? And hope you're doing well. Let's talk more science, specifically the victim's injuries pursuant to the crime scene and autopsy photographs. Why does the verbiage in the PCA vary from victim to victim? And why did Kaylee and Maddie's, quote, means of death definitely did not match and were called the work of a, quote, sadistic? I've got all the details, so let's get right into it. Follow the science. In order to fully examine this topic, let's first recap the PCA, which clearly pinned this crime on Mr. Koberger as the sole assailant with presumably one weapon. We know a sheath was found that may infer the weapon was a K-bar, but the actual weapon has never been confirmed by law enforcement. It's also important to keep in mind law enforcement believes the quadruple homicide occurred in an extremely tight window of time, just 7 to 10 minutes total. Let's now delve into Kaylee and Maddie's injuries. Kaylee and Maddie were found in the same bed, so it is logical to deduce their injuries would be very similar. But Steve Gonsalves said, quote, their points of damage definitely did not match and was the work of a, quote, sadistic male. Further, Steve added, quote, they may have individually died from the same exact thing, being stabbed, but there are more details. They're not even close to matching. For the record, the PCA verbiage is the exact same for Kaylee and Maddie, quote, stab wounds, which aligns with Mr. Gonsalves. However, this is where it gets interesting. Coroner Kathy Mabbitt, who not only viewed the initial crime scene, but also attended the autopsies, seemed to contradict both the PCA and Mr. Gonsalves, stating, quote, I don't think stabs is the right word. It was like tears, like this was a strong weapon, not like a stab. So again, if we're following the science, were these, quote, large open gouges as this one is really says it all. I don't think stabs is the right word. I don't think stabs is the right word. It was like tears. Like this was a strong weapon, not like a stab. Like tears. I don't think stabs is the right word. That, that's a huge statement for her to make. That's a huge statement for her to make. And she's talking about all of them, I do believe. I don't think stabs is the right word. It was like tears. It was like tears. It was like tears. Like this was a strong weapon, not like a stab. So, what kind of weapon was it? Then it couldn't be a K-bar. That's my opinion. If it's like that, then we're not talking K-bar here, folks. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? How can it be tears and be a K-bar? It doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right. A strong weapon. Could it be like an axe? Pulling and tearing? I mean, it had to be something like that. Could it be an axe? Tears. Tears. Read that again. I don't think stabs is the right word. It was like tears. Like this was a strong weapon. Like this was a strong weapon. Not like a stab. That
to me, is a very huge statement to make. Very huge statement to make. What could have done something like that? It's just, they're not. That, to me, was the biggest statement that she made. That definitely was the biggest statement she made. Okay, let's go to let me see here. Okay, we're going to a friend here. We're going to go to Criminal Confidential. Okay, and then we're going to listen to Who's the Liar, and the timeline is off. And this is part 1 of this. I'm also going to show her a newer one. Hold on a second. There we go. Who's the Liar, and the timeline is off.
As soon as the news hit, Olivia, the eldest of the 5 Gonsalves children, and her parents went into detective mode.
We had 0 details. We just knew they were gone.
Olivia got into her sister's call log and frantically started cold calling recent numbers. She says a friend told her that Kaylee had been at the Corner Club bar around 1:07 a.m. and later texted a rideshare driver who Olivia managed to track down.
The rideshare driver said around 1:45, Kaylee had texted him requesting a ride from the Grub Truck, which is the local mac and cheese food truck, to take her back home to 1122 King. And she had with her another female.
Olivia then uncovered one of the most important leads in the case. The rideshare driver told her about a camera mounted on the Grub Truck.
So I was able to look it up and find Kaylee on the video, and I saw the girl that she was with was Maddie. So at that point I knew Kaylee and Maddie were together. They got into the car to go home together and alone.
The driver told her the exact time Kaylee and Maddie were dropped off at their house on King Road, 1:56 a.m. A timeline she says she confirmed before the police.
I immediately took it to the police officers. Here's her phone information. Here's the rideshare driver's name.
Olivia says Kaylee made a call to her boyfriend at 2:56 a.m., but he didn't answer. The Gonsalveses believe Kaylee fell asleep shortly after. According to the police affidavit, Kaylee and Maddie were stabbed to death between 4 and 4:25 a.m. Just as they had done since they were little girls, they were sleeping in the same bed.
Those 2 best friends since little girls, I don't think there's anything more terrifying than what they went through. I really don't.
Madison Mogan was Kaylee's lifelong best friend. The pair seen together in their final hours of life, laughing and ordering late-night food before getting a ride home together in what Steve described as a sorority-designated driver service.
You can't imagine sending your girl to college and then they come back in an urn.
Yeah, they Ubered out together. They only went to known locations that they had been before.
Private driver.
They had a private driver. I apologize. It was a private driver that they had actually used before, so they knew him. They had a relationship with this individual.
Knew him as a family member, and he really helped us.
Yeah.
He turned us on to food truck stuff.
Yeah.
He's a great person.
Good people. And then only.
So out of their own mouths, we have 5 different stories: rideshare, sorority driver, Uber, private driver, family member. The last person to see 2 of the victims alive is being called 5 different things by the same family. Why is this not talked about more? Someone is lying, the driver, or the G's. Not once does the driver ever mention speaking to Olivia on the 13th and telling her about the Twitch stream. The driver said he didn't know what happened until the next day when they released the victims' names. How is that possible if he spoke to Olivia on Sunday, November 13th? Someone is lying.
Breaking news tonight, 40 days into the University of Idaho murders, and the driver, who was likely the very last man to see Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez alive, is speaking to News Nation tonight. The Uber driver who brought the kids home the night of the murders, Kaylee's family reported that their daughter had indeed ordered an Uber, and now the man who drove them is revealing exclusive details to us about that ride home and what the girls said in the back of that car. News Nation correspondent Alex Capriello is live tonight. He tracked him down. He joins me from outside the home in Moscow. That was a very difficult task. Tell me what you found out, Alex.
Yeah, I was able to find this rideshare driver. He's one of only about 4 here in the Moscow area. So I was able to track down that phone number and give him a call personally, speak to him. I asked him point blank, hey, are you the guy who drove Kaylee and Maddie home that night? And to his credit, he was very transparent, very honest, very open, almost immediately with me.
Well, understandably, he has said, Alex, that he is very concerned. It's a small community. He doesn't want to be on camera, but he was very revealing in what he told you about that ride home. Start there. What did the girls talk about in the back seat?
Well, he said that it was actually a rather innocent conversation from the beginning. You might remember that he picked up these 2 girls from that grub truck. It's the food truck that's located right in downtown Moscow. And really, he said that was the center of their conversation. The entire 5-minute ride home was about their mac and cheese.
They talked about carbonara for 5 minutes? Weird. Is it just me, or is it weird that he remembers what type of mac and cheese they got that night?
Carbonara that they were planning on splitting when they got back to the house. He said that he's picked them up in the past, not only these 2 girls, but Xana as well. And he said that in the past, they've talked about boys and drama and college life, but not this time around. It was just a very normal, innocent conversation about their food and how they were going to share it when they got home.
So that's also revealing that he knew them. He had them in the car multiple times before. This is a small town. So if they've taken an Uber a couple of times, it would be likely that he'd be the driver. And he said, indeed, he knew them. He knew all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He said that obviously as one of only about 4 rideshare drivers in this area, he picks up these girls a lot. And not to mention, we already know that this is so close to Frat Row. And of course, we've reported that this is a party house. So a lot of times students would come here. And so he said that Xana, that Kaylee and Maddie were no strangers to them. He's given them rides home from the bars, home from work, home from school. So he knows them. He has driven them before. But back again to this, he said that there was nothing out of the ordinary that night, that right now or in that moment that it was just an innocent conversation. Of course, the frats were bumping on a Saturday night, but here at the house, it was quiet and he saw nothing out of the usual.
So as you reported earlier this week, Alex, the last thing that we heard on tape was the surveillance camera showing Maddie and Kaylee walking from the Corner Club bar to the grub truck. And the only thing we could hear was, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? And then Maddie responds, I told Adam everything. Was there any conversation in the back of the Uber car about Adam or the bartender? Because Adam turned out to be the bartender. Did you mention anything like that?
Yeah, actually, the rideshare driver said that he knows Adam. He knows he's a bartender, but Adam was not brought up once at all during that conversation. Again, no conversations about boys, drama, or any trouble. And as far as what the girls were feeling, he said they were not fearful. They weren't skittish in any way. But back to the food truck. Also, I asked him about that. Hey, you were right there. Did you see anything out of the ordinary there? And he said, no, it was a Saturday night at the food truck. A bunch of college kids hanging out, ordering their food before heading home. You know, I brought up another person. A lot of people have speculated about the hoodie guy he's been referenced as. He said he didn't see that guy. He has no indication that anything was wrong there at the food truck. And certainly during that entire rideshare home, no indication that anything was wrong there rather.
Okay, then what about the police? Because clearly, I would have imagined the police have a lot more, machinery and technological ability than sometimes we do to track people down. I assume that the police would have found him and that they would have talked. What did he say about being able to tell everything he told you to the police?
Right. Yeah, this was super interesting to me because he said that he didn't hear about the murders until the next day.
The driver said he didn't find out what happened to the victims until the next day. 11 pods to 1422. Olivia claims to have spoke to the driver on Sunday, 11/13. That's when he told her about the grub truck video.
And he realized, oh my gosh, these are the 2 girls that I had driven home and I've driven home in the past. And so he was stewing on that for a little bit, but he was the one who eventually turned himself over to the police by calling the tip line saying, hey, I was the one who drove these girls home. The police tells the rideshare driver that they already knew he was the driver, but even still, he was the one who called in himself and said, hey, I was that guy. That being said, when he did that, called the tip line, he turned over all of his GPS coordinates from that night, sharing that he went to Taco Bell after dropping the girls off and then went home. And so that's the reason why he was cleared almost immediately. Never been named as a suspect or persons of interest, because all the data that he provided to the police proves that he was not there at this house at the time that these murders allegedly happened.
So the other question is, as you are standing almost, I imagine, in the same spot where they were dropped off, did he mention anything about the drop-off that was unusual? Anybody in the parking lot? Did he drive into the parking lot? Did he hear something, see something, pass anybody?
Actually, the only thing he said was that he heard the frats doing their normal partying, but everything else seemed quiet, seemed normal. There were no headlights. There was no one following him. He says he's got a great memory, and he would know whether or not anyone was trailing him or if there was anything suspicious at all. As far as the drop-off, he said that he brought them right up the street here on King Road and dropped them off here at the foot of the driveway. He never pulled actually into the driveway because he says, based on his training, he always wants to be able to have a quick getaway in the event that something bad happens to him, like he gets robbed on the side of the road. But he dropped them off here on King Road. He watched them get out of the car. He did not watch them physically go into the home, but he said that he trusted that they were going to be safe because he's driven them so many other times, and he knew that these two girls were together.
You've pulled video seeing the Uber driver dropping them off.
Yes.
You've checked your phone records. You know the
Yes.
timestamps, what
Yes.
time they got home.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what police are saying, right?
Right.
It's not 145.
Kaylee and Maddie were picked up from their home at 1122 King around 10:15. It's about a 5-minute drive down. So they arrived to Corner Club around 10:20, which is different than what was released at 10. We know that Kaylee called for an Uber at 1:45. He arrived at 1:49, got in the car around 1:50. It's about a 5-6 minute drive. They arrived home at 1:56. So she was on my mom's cell plan. So
we pulled my cell plan.
On Sunday, I was able to pull those cell records.
And you could see that she was calling somebody out.
Yeah, no. The last call is shortly before 3 a.m.
Short, yeah, that's right, 250 something.
2:52.
For both of them.
Yeah.
Side note, I had an AT&T family plan. There was a 24-hour delay. It does not show call detail in real time. This chat is from the Twitch stream that night. Interesting how two different people in chat both marked down the exact time the girls walked away.
Oh, I wasn't even on stage here. I was talking. This is the Twitch, what we were talking about the other night. This is the Twitch feed chat. Just like right now, it's just like this. It's just like this. There's chat with my live. With the Twitch live feed, which they were running that night, there is a chat. And here is part of it. But I want the whole night. If someone can send me that, I might even give you money. But I'll love you forever, for sure. If anybody can find the whole chat for that night, that whole Twitch feed chat, that's what we need to find. I want to know who was chatting and what they were chatting about. I think that would be very important. Are you SW Firefly? Yeah. Check it and try to find the Grub Truck Moscow, Idaho's Twitch live feed from November 3rd. I guess it would be November 12th and 13th, or the 13th, I guess. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, it's a chat, Randy. It's a chat. Definitely a chat. Here's Tomahawk, I-Time or something, Semaphore, 2 a.m. bar crowd at 3:53:12. This is from 3:53, so around 4 o'clock or something. Moscow, Idaho. There is a bot that comes in and does say things. I want that chat. I really want that chat if it's still out there. Yeah, it's usually for gaming, Angela. Yep. And I have Twitch on my and I've been live on Twitch playing PUBG. Playing PUBG with some friends, and one of the friends was running Twitch live stream with it. So yeah. Another thing I want to look at here. Well, this isn't quite done here. Let's keep going here. Now here, look, people. You see this right here? That's the Twitch live chat right here. You know, I need to download this picture and blow that up. But this is all from like 350. This one's kind of late. Somebody talking about order mac and cheese and get slaw with it. But this is a live chat right here that goes along with that.
Order 85. Thank you.
Can I do the big burrito? But I'm going to be really quick on some cheese sauce. Can I get it with that? That's Chipotle slaw.
Yes, you absolutely
And
can.
then without the onion salsa.
No salsa.
And do you guys have sour cream or?
Now they think they hear, oh my God, Kaylee. I don't. It's really hard to hear. I'll play it again and see if you guys hear it. I kind of hear it. I'm not sure if that's really what it is or not.
Can I get it with that? Chipotle slaw.
Yes, you absolutely
And
can.
then without the onion salsa.
No salsa.
And do you guys have sour cream or?
Part 2 coming soon.
You need a job.
No, I don't.
Okay, so anyway, that's Criminal Confidential. And we'll look at one of the new ones of hers also. She puts out good stuff. She's been in this room, and she's been in like Rory's room too. Somebody was talking about how do you pronounce it? A karambit weapon. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. They said at the beginning of all of this that someone said, and this is towards the beginning, that this karambit was the weapon that was used. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, and this is what that weapon looks like. Definitely could do some tearing. Do you see that? I mean, you could stab and tear. This might make sense. This actually might make sense. So here is the question. If it was tears and it was a weapon like this, then why the hell is there a sheath to a knife under Maddie? You see, but look, remember what she said. Remember what Mabbott said. It wasn't really, stabs isn't the right word. It was more like tears. Do you see how this could tear? Definitely could tear. More so than a K-bar. More so than a K-bar. No doubt about that. Okay, so anyway, that's what that looks like. And that's what was said at the beginning of all this. What kind of weapon was used. Okay. Okay, so let me bring this up. Which one is this? Do I want to run this? Let me hold on a second. Okay, yeah, I am gonna run this. I am gonna run this. Okay. And this is from, I think it's news. Yeah, ABC 7. Okay.
But now, new developments in the Idaho college murders case. Defense attorneys are challenging key evidence that they say was improperly obtained by police, including search warrants and DNA. Kana Whitworth joins us now with the latest. Good morning to you, Kana.
Yeah, Robin, good morning. So these are sweeping challenges that center around the investigative genetic genealogy and how authorities linked Kohberger to the crime in the first place, as well as his dramatic arrest in the dead of night, despite weeks of surveillance where they say he was seen unarmed.
This morning, new court filings from Brian Kohberger's defense team depict a chaotic night when the former PhD student was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. His lawyers claim during the raid, law enforcement broke the front door of home, shattered the sliding glass door of the basement, and held the entire family at gunpoint, and that with his hands tied and surrounded by police at gunpoint, Kohberger made statements to his arresting officers. Despite not having his rights read to him, they want those statements thrown out, along with other key pieces of evidence lead defense attorney Ann Taylor argues were illegally gathered by law enforcement using his genetic information. Authorities linking Kohberger to the crime after they say they found DNA that was a statistical match on the button strap of a knife sheath at the crime scene, where Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, and Ethan Chapin were found stabbed to death.
When law enforcement uses that positive match and then says, well, we need to go and get a search warrant because we have a positive match for Brian Kohberger, that the DNA evidence is tainted and anything comes from it is fruit from a poisonous tree.
The defense, who says Kohberger is innocent, claiming without that genetic information, there could have been no request for his phone records, which prosecutors also say implicate Kohberger. Taylor also challenging the way authorities gathered search warrants, especially pertaining to the search of Koberger's car, a white Hyundai Elantra, as well as his Apple and Amazon accounts.
Now, Taylor says the warrants lacked probable cause. Now, this trial is set for August, but we're also still awaiting the judge's decision on the defense's request to have the death penalty taken off the table. Guys.
Still so much up in the air there. Okay, Kana, thank you.
Okay, yeah, they took the death. I mean, they kept the death penalty. That's gonna stay. Yeah. Okay.
Ready or not, here I come.
And here's bubbly. We're gonna do a bubbly. She's not in the house, is she? Bubbly, you out there? I talked to her earlier on the phone. I don't see her out there. Okay. Well, you know, the questions, there's questions looming here. And to me, the biggest question is, it wasn't like stabs. It was more like tears. Well, that kind of takes away the K-bar. Then why is there a K-bar knife sheath underneath Maddie? You know what I'm saying? Something doesn't make sense there. Something doesn't make sense. And it's going to be interesting when trial does come out, if it does come out, how they're going to explain the wounds to a K-bar. Because that does not match a K-bar. I'm sorry, does not match a K-bar. Anyway, here is Bubbly's face mask and sniffing dogs handler loses the balloons and never found them. Okay.
Come now, let's play hide and seek. Prepare to be caught. Here I come now, let's play hide and seek. You know, not playground, no mountains to make a sound. Round and round and round, no one wants to be first found.
This ski mask is about to take the football world by storm.
Who needs
A
to
never
go
seen
purchase
before
a
product
ski
that is
mask
now
when you can
available,
get one
is allowing
right from the
athletes
coach?
with longer hair to still let it out and show their personalities. Many times in the past, we've seen the same old ski mask that doesn't allow room for athletes' hair to flow. Luckily, with this new innovative top-off design, this will no longer be an issue for you. On top of the new overall design, the ski mask
How fitting the name is, as there seems to be a lot of football players being brought up on charges of forced Bam Bam. We ballers. Jeez.
offering heat retention for those frigid temperatures. Whether it's black, white, gray, blue, or even red, beat the trend and get yours today at WeBallSports.com. This ski mask is...
These are the guys who are being rewarded for game well played. And in the meantime, they're dance humping to songs about how they feel about our daughters.
Like, look at the camera. Yeah.
All they need now is PVC pipes, baseball bats, roid rage, and a ride to Moscow, and they'd fit right in. Is this what Inan meant by a baller? A footballer?
we ain't done that. This that just yet, bro.
Y'all won't go, we won't be caught. Louis on me, Fort St. Louis on me. 1, 2, 3. Fort St. Louis. We're gonna get him. Stepping that shit.
So much anger coming from the football teams. In Moscow and Pullman, they don't leave their anger on the field. They take their anger to the streets and to parties they aren't invited to. Then they do what they want because no one ever arrests them or kicks them off the team. They aren't punished.
And that's the truth. Because what was it, like a year ago or something? Yeah, it was last year. Over 100 football players were fighting out by Sigma Chi. There was a party, and like 100 football players were out in the streets scrapping and fighting. And that always kind of got to me after I heard that, because people were always, screaming at me saying, oh, there could never be that many people involved and blah, blah, blah. Yes, there can be many people involved that wouldn't talk. They'll carry that shit to their grave, man. I'm telling you, man.
For putting a fellow student in the hospital for severe head injuries. But they are traded out the next day as if it never happened. Message to the universities they are being traded to. You asked for it.
Well, well, well. Coming up is Dominique Blaker, which happens to be Dustin Blaker, the Moscow PD cop. It's his daughter. What they're going to show you here is how they train their rug-sniffing dog.
And I'm going to be getting into. We're going to be getting into this Blaker a little bit more in the next few videos, because there's stuff coming out. There's stuff coming out on this Blaker dude that we're going to get into.
Because at one point in the very beginning, he tells you that he lost something, that he was really, really worried about it. Listen to what he said he lost and could not find and never did locate it, by the way. This is a not good thing. In fact, it's careless, it's danger, it's reckless, it's criminal. That's what it is. Yeah. By the way, he's involved with the Germans, or not Germans, but some other people too.
But I won't tell you where it's at. Oh. Like I said, it is actual odor. It is actual stuff, because that's what we need to train them with. So I didn't get audited, and it does. I have lost drugs before with my other dog. I forgot it on a truck, and when I went to use it, next time it wasn't there, and then I was really stressed. It was about 10 balloons of heroin. Oh. So I don't know how much you guys know about heroin. That's all right. It was enough that I was really stressed. So never found it. Somebody else found it. So hey, look. Like I said, it is actual odor. It is actual stuff.
It is, like Cryptic said up there, it is, to me, animal abuse. It is. So if you have a hard time watching this, I don't know what to tell you.
stuff.
But you need
because that's
you
what
need
we
to
do
see it.
training with. So I do get audited, and it does. I have lost drugs before with my other dog. I forgot it on a truck, and when I went to use it next time, it wasn't there, and then I was really stressed. It was about 10 balloons of heroin. Oh. So I don't know how much you guys know about heroin.
Lost 10, what do you say, 10 balloons of heroin? Oh, isn't that funny? He lost it. Okay. Yeah, he lost it. Right.
It was enough that I was really stressed. So, nope, never found it. Somebody else found it. So, hey, close. Close.
Like, it's crying. Is it
Now
done?
he's excited and doesn't want to let go. Which one are you going to put? So sometimes I have to trick him. Oh, ready? So he went back to that when I left. He didn't go after the one. There is one on that table. He knew where that one was, so he wanted to back to play with it. So it is a game to him. Like I said, he gets the toys. And if there's tension on this, he won't let go of it, even though he's hiding this one. So to him, there's nothing to it. Like I said, the tension, he won't let go of it if I'm holding it, but he's watching this other one. But this one's still alive to him, so he doesn't want to let go. Close. But he does like this one for some reason. Toy. Close.
When you approach a car, do you use the toy to start?
Okay, I think we've seen enough of that. You get the idea, and that's all I wanted you to get. It is terrible. Yes, horrible. Totally horrible what they do. Then he says he lost, what was it, 10 balloons of heroin, and lost it. I don't know. Lost it to me means, yeah, he fucking turned around and sold it is what he probably fucking did. And that's another thing, Mama D. Yes. Is this the real Mama D? Did you come in under a different name? Instead of your True Crime 1111? Yeah, it is sick name. But Bubbly had to put it out to show people what's going on, and you can't falter for that. Let me see what else I got here. I do got to kind of try to cut it as short as I can tonight here. Okay, this is Criminal Confidential's new one, and I'm going to hurry up and run this. I'm kind of short on time tonight. And this is called The Brother's Keeper Where's Ethan? Okay, and this is from Criminal Confidential. She's got a little over 1,000 subscribers. She got 6.8 thousand views on this a day ago. So, I mean, yeah, definitely subscribe to her and like it up. And let's take a peek at this.
I mean, someone would know. It's his fraternity.
After the crime happened. This video was originally aired on December 6th, 2022, and it's safe to say that the majority of videos were deleted by then.
And there's still a cloud of mystery surrounding a nearly 5-hour window from 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. when Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were believed to be at the Sigma Chi fraternity house.
I'm Alex. I'm a reporter with News Nation.
I went to the fraternities and the sororities to find out what they remember.
Just that night, were you here? Was there a party going on or anything? Because the police have this huge window where they're trying to figure out what happened.
The chapter president says he's turned over all information to the police and to the FBI, saying there's nothing they know that the police don't. And keep it.
Here's a few pics from that night. Law enforcement did not know Ethan and Xana's whereabouts on the night of November 12th until about a month later. You're telling me out of all those fraternity boys and Ethan's own siblings, plus Bethany, and not one of them knew where they were? There are pictures of Ethan, Hunter, and Maisie at Sigma Chi that evening. There is clearly a party. How did no one see them? And why did Bethany take so long to disclose the information she knew?
This morning, police zeroing in on the movements of two of the University of Idaho victims, Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, the night they were murdered, looking specifically at the hours between 9 p.m. and 1:45 a.m. when the couple was believed to be at Ethan's fraternity.
Why are you looking for more information specifically about where Xana and Ethan were in regards to his fraternity house?
That actually seems to be one of the larger areas that we don't have a lot of information in. And so being able to locate what they did that night, to maybe who they contacted, maybe any routes that they took home, that would be important for the investigation.
All of those people at the party with Ethan, and not one of them had came forward and spoke to law enforcement. I bet the majority of them left town. So the question is, why didn't any of Ethan's frat brothers come forward and call MPD? They made multiple pleas to the public to come forward with information. I thought they said they were cooperating with law enforcement.
Potentially, that is critical to the investigation. We don't know. So as students come back and they maybe had seen or been at the location with them or had seen them traveling through campus, we want to talk to those people. That's important to us.
Isn't it funny how he keeps calling it the location instead of saying the name of the fraternity? I'm telling you, there was a cover-up PR stunt from day one.
Well, I mean, it's good to know that now, but not in that 4-hour and 45-minute gap. And here's the other thing that really doesn't sit well with me, Brian. Ethan is a member of Sigma Chi. He's a brother at that fraternity. And so for someone to say last time they were seen was 9 p.m., if they were at that party for the next 5 hours, somebody would know that. I mean, someone would know. It's his fraternity. That doesn't make Brian, because I know that it's been hard getting information from Sigma Chi members.
It has really from all the fraternities and sororities. We've talked to a couple sort of people, students, off the record, basically, not off the record, but they didn't want to go on camera because they said, they were told not to speak, not to talk to the media. They sort of fraternity and sororities on lockdown. It's interesting.
Let's process all of this logically. The 3 female victims had allegedly dropped their sororities the semester prior. Those 2 sororities were on probation at the time of the crime. People don't just drop their sororities without a good reason. You take oaths during initiation. Once you're in for life. Ethan was not living at Sigma Chi anymore. He was having issues with his grades. Maybe that's why. I'm not really sure. Regardless, it cannot be a coincidence that the only 2 people in that house who did not lose their lives were the only 2 in good standing with the Greek system. Honestly, I am not even convinced that all the pictures of Ethan are from that same night. MPD never mentions the Betty's Ball, only the frat party. Besides, there are Christmas light decorations in the pics, and a lot of people are dressed up in red or green. Seems like a holiday party if you ask me. I highly doubt Maisie's sorority would have a formal event at the same time as an important football game, and what kind of formal event would be over so early in the night?
There's another good channel out there, KB, the Purge there. He's got a real good channel. If you guys haven't seen his channel, he's got a good sense of humor. And I love his channel. Anyway, back to this.
It just doesn't seem logical. But that's just a hunch I have. I don't know for a fact. But my gut tells me the reason all the Greek students have their social media cleared out is so they can present old photos as if they were recently taken. I will look into it more in another video. Also, we never see Zana in any of those pictures. Even if Ethan really was at his sister's formal and then the frat party, where was Zana during that time?
With your friends all the time.
Avondale father Jeffrey Kernodle, who was too distraught to be on camera, remembering the life of his daughter, Xana, one of the victims of the brutal stabbing at the University of Idaho, leaving 4 college roommates dead on Sunday.
I heard from her before we went out, I think midnight. The last time I heard from her, and she's fine.
The murders happened early Sunday morning, rocking the small town of Moscow, Idaho, which hasn't had a murder since 2015, according to state records.
Yeah, we all know that's only because they don't actually report anything.
No idea. It doesn't make sense.
He says Xana was in constant communication with her family, and nothing about that night seemed unusual.
The door locks with the number code. Every time you open it, like I had to go back to I had to go around the house to get in the house because of the number code. So they either knew that or they just kind of went around and found the slider open.
A father struggling to understand how this could have happened. Why Xana?
They were just hanging out at home.
Yeah.
Xana was hanging out at home with her boyfriend.
Zana's dad said he spoke to her around midnight and she was home with Ethan. He mentioned it was right before him and Jasmine went out. Not pointing fingers, but I wonder where they went that night, because that seems kind of late. Anyway, my point is, why would he lie? Or maybe Xana lied and said she was home, but she really wasn't. But that doesn't seem likely. So either Jeff is lying or law enforcement is lying.
2 other female roommates, Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonsalves, were killed along with Xana's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, who Jeffrey loved.
Her and Ethan were together about a year, give or take some, whatever. But she really, when I went up there, I saw her just, a week before that. She changed a lot. She had a life.
Let's put this to rest once and for all. He said she changed a lot, not changed the locks.
She had a life. She got to see what it was to have a boyfriend to live with and have a real life. And she really turned around and was being really responsible, helping him out into the studies and stuff. I was really impressed.
Kernodle says
it sounds like he is inferring that Xana used to be irresponsible and had turned her life around. And he also mentioned that her and Ethan were living together. I believe that's true, because he would have no reason to lie about that. And it checks out with what Ethan's frat brother said at the 1-year memorial.
The importance of the Vandal family is something that can't be put into words. And there's absolutely no other family I'd rather be a part of. The last thing I remember with Ethan was him and I alone in my room. And he expressed how excited he was to move back into the house in a little over a month. He told me how much he missed living with us boys. We started talking about all the fun things we were going to do once that happened.
And I just look at that from, I think anybody in America is like, that's the next question, right? Is why them? Like, why would he target these people who he had no ties to? And it just feels like such rage to do that to somebody, to 4 people.
Yeah, and that kind of just tells you who he was, because he wasn't tied to everyone in that room. Ethan wasn't supposed to even be there. And
where was he supposed to be? And why does he say room, as if the victims were all killed in one room?
And, from what Ethan went through, that this guy just wasn't a man of character. He was just poorly built. And,
wow. Interesting how he specifically mentions what Ethan went through, but not any other victims. Was Ethan the target? I'm not sure when this video was taken, but I know it was sometime in November or December 2022. If anyone knows the date, leave a comment below. In my opinion, MPD started covering up for the frats and UI starting on day 1 with not releasing the 911 call. If they didn't want to reveal the caller, they could have released the transcript and not the audio, but they didn't.
Take the next left onto Nez Perce Drive. Continue for 1.5 miles.
Just don't pump the gas. Turn it over. You know, might still actually be a little bit warm. I don't know.
Before I go, here are some random pics I saved that I wanted to share. That's Ethan and his frat brothers in this pic. The timing is kind of icky, in my opinion, but what really got my attention is what's in that guy's hand. Doesn't that look like a big knife? Tell me if you see it or not. And remember this guy from the grub truck? Tell me if you think it's the same person in this picture. Same person or no? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you later.
Thank you. No, you. Thank you. No,
Okay. There. I don't know what you guys think on that. That's what I thought too. I thought it was the same guy too. Yeah. That's what I got for tonight. Hey, Moonflower. Hey, girl. I'm glad you're feeling a little better to come on. Love you, my girl. I appreciate you all coming in tonight and watching. I'm sorry. I gotta go see. I gotta go see Mr. Jones. I gotta go see Mr. Jones. So I am short on time tonight. And anyway, Friday Night Live. I always love my Friday nights. You know that. So then my subs, I love you, and you are my heart, and my mods, I love you very much. And you are my soul. And until next time, rock and roll.
Sha la 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 la. Oh, down at the mirror when I'm straight down, staring at this yellow-haired girl. Mr. Jones strikes up a conversation with a black hair, the man coat dance. You know she dances while his father plays guitar. She's suddenly beautiful, and we all want something beautiful. Man, I wish I was beautiful. So come dance the silence down through the morning. Sha la 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 la, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cut up, Maria. Show me some Spanish dancing. Pass me a bottle, Mr. Jones. Believe in me. Help me believe in anything.
Das war unser Cover von einem meiner absoluten Lieblingssongs, Mr. Jones. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, dann lasst uns gerne ein Like und ein Abo da und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Video.